Please put your hands together, folks, for Fabian Gordon.
It was the winter of 2001 and the world had changed. It got very dark. That's not the only thing that had happened. The dot-com boom happened. It was great. We were all making a lot of money doing nothing. Then that went away. And in that same theme, one thing was consistent. I was coming out of another failed relationship. I'd only had failed relationships up till this point. Every woman I'd ever connected with just never went anywhere. And most of my friends at that point, they were on their first, second marriage, some their second divorce, they were 0-2, and it was never happening. I thought, well, what the fuck? Okay, so I started to really expand my horizons. I was in Los Angeles, so it was a pretty diverse community, and I was dating women of different races, ages, socioeconomic classes, newly arrived immigrant, didn't matter. Just kept falling on my face. Well, I did the math. There was only one constant in that whole equation, that was me. Obviously, I was fucking up. Wasn't sure what I was doing wrong, but clearly I was doing something wrong. And a buddy calls me up and he's in Atlanta. He says, hey man, we're into some wild shit. Nightclub promotions, getting fucking high every night. Come on out, it'll be great. Stay at my loft. You know, I'm currently untethered. Between employment, between relationships, house I was renting, they're like, yeah, it's not working out. I'm like, yeah, I'm beginning to get that vibe. So there I went, flew to Atlanta, and all their friends were artists, and a whole bunch of them were in the gay community, and I didn't really have any exposure to that community up until that point. But I must tell you, all the cliches are true. Brunch? Fuck, really? Bloody Marys? Who knew, right? I couldn't decorate my place. A couple guys come over 15 minutes later. I'm like, how the fuck did you pull? Wow. Wow. I'm really impressed. Well, these guys all like to party in the underground. What I mean by that was kind of the off the main drag club. There was a place called Backstreet. Now, if you were in Atlanta in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, that may mean something. If not, let me give you a little explanation. It was an old industrial building, but like a lot of places in the South, it dealt in inconsistencies and incongruities and all the bullshit agreements that people make with themselves. So it was a private nightclub, but to join the club, you needed $5 and a pulse. So everybody in town was a member. It was fucking crazy, right? Huge sign out front, we are a gay nightclub, but no bad attitudes. And I'm like, hey, we're all on ecstasy. We feel fucking great. This is fucking outstanding. The lights. So you walk into this huge complex, and at the first story, as you come in kind of on the main floor, there's the bar, the drag queens are getting ready for their show, and all the normal things that generate revenue for a nightclub. And then it kind of split into two different directions. Now, if you went up high, that's where most of the straight kids went. I mean, everybody liked Backstreet, but goddamn it, they weren't gonna mix. So they went up, watched the drag show, because they weren't gay, and then they went ahead and danced to Bad Disco. And off that was a patio about a third the size of this particular auditorium. That was more like Casablanca. Everybody went to Casablanca. So you'd all mix up there. Now, if you were cool, then you'd go listen to the music in the pit. And the pit was enormous. Was basically a basement, if you will, that was probably 10,000 square feet. And this is where the boys danced and where the music was amazing and the lights were fan-fucking-tastic, and we would just be like, honk, honk, oh, this is great, it feels wonderful. Now, the thing about this particular population, you may already know, every one of these guys looked like they just walked out of a fashion shoot. It's like, how the fuck is that possible that you're all here? I mean, it's like statistically improbable, right? Yet there they were. I was just like, this is fucking weird. All right, well, I'll go with it. So there I am, the cool people are there, and the young ladies, all these beautiful Southern belles, they want to dance with the boys. So I'm like, oh, wow, hotties, hey, how you doing? Because, I'm doing so well, I figured I'll try my luck in the South. No, it's not working out. But for different reasons. See, they all want to get with these beautiful gay men who just look like fucking Adonis, who want nothing to do with them. And half of these guys, these Adonis guys, they have a bear fetish, right? So they're coming on to me, and I'm just like, yeah. Thanks for playing You Can't Win. I'm chasing the girls are chasing the boys are chasing me, nobody's getting laid. It's a story of my fucking life. Yeah, I've flown 3,000 miles to have the same experiences. I'm like, cool. Maybe I'll get fired and evicted later, make it a fucking day, do a little shopping, right? What the fuck? So anyway, we're taking so much ecstasy, we could have won fucking awards. And I'm sitting there, there's a mezzanine over the pit, and we're just jamming out. Thonk, 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 thonk. And the lights are hitting me, and it's fantastic. If you've never done that drug, you probably shouldn't start, but if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then I'm sitting there having a great time, and I feel what can only be described as a missile. And it's trying to go through my leather pants, which are a great thing to wear while you're rolling, by the way, because they feel great. Through my leather pants, and I come up off the ground. I weigh 300 pounds, guys. Imagine how fucking hard that is to get a man my size off the ground. Yet it happened. Jesus fucking Christ. And I look over, a couple guys to my left, and they're doing the same thing, holding their ass, and everybody can see in my face, I'm hot as hell, and I don't mean excited. I'm in a fucking state of rage. And they're all pointing to this guy. And I see this dude walking, and best if I demonstrate. I mean, he's really digging in, and he's going down the line and trying to stick his hand up, I don't know, a dozen different guys' asses, because it's an interesting way to pick men up, I'm told, but I was not receptive to this, as you might imagine. So I'm like, that's it, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, because you know what, he had it coming. My buddy, he sees it, he grabs me. Don't do it. We're in a gay club, bro, it's not gonna fly here. We're guests. This is not fucking cool. And I'm like, fuck him. He's like, you got grabbed, I got grabbed. I'm like, I didn't give a shit about being grabbed, bro. It's not that. The guy sexually assaulted us. Fuck him, he's gonna pay. And he pulls me back, and he starts laughing. Now at this point you may think, oh, that's really funny. I should go into a Joe Pesci routine. What, I'm a clown, I amuse you? No, I did not do that. I didn't have that sense of mind. I'm like, what's so funny? And he goes, bro, now you know how women feel. Oh, fuck, really? Well, the truth is I don't know how women feel. I had one experience. That sure as hell does not encapsulate what many of you have gone through in your life, right? But it was a significant one. And it was one that forced me to change my entire paradigm. Now, I didn't have a habit of trying to stick my hand up people's asses. But yeah, if I wanted a hug from you, I was gonna get it. Or if you didn't shake my hand, I'd take offense, because that was disrespectful. Now, at this point, I need to give you a little backstory, because it will be helpful to understand my state of mind. I grew up part of my life in Las Vegas. My father was a well-known, in the wrong circles, adult nightclub owner. He was exactly the kind of person you think runs those places. So my childhood was a mix of terror, violence, oppression, disrespect from him. And I believe they call that toxic masculinity now. That's the term kids use. We just called it growing up. But that's what that was. He was strangely progressive, though, for a gangster. He was not homophobic, probably for business reasons. And he was very anti-racist in the 70s. And this wasn't something he tolerated. I always thought that was odd. But my mother remarried, and those two things got filled in just fine with the next guy. So, yeah, I didn't get to escape it at all. Well, I'm thinking about this. What's really enraging me is this man has disrespected me. That's really what's pissed me off, is he's violated me. He's taken from me my agency. And I want to fucking take something from him, a little more permanent. I've recounted this story to other people, and they're like, that's what a man would do. And I'm like, well, what would a woman do? They're like, we can't do that. That's your privilege. You get to exert power. We have to take it. Ah, fuck. Well, I can't make people better men before I see an action. So the only person I could focus on was myself. And I wondered, were my failures in relationships at all related to that type of behavior? Certainly to that mindset, what's mine I will take. Now, that didn't get me very far. And if I caused anyone that pain, Jesus Christ, that's not what anybody signed up for, not ever. So I really wanted to stop and think about, is this the kind of person I want to be? Now, I'm in Atlanta. People are, outwardly polite, privately not. It's affectation, but we accept that. And I go in like I normally do a few days later for a hug on a lady, and I see her pull back. Oh, shit, I'm that guy. Oh, fuck. What do I do now? So I'm like, well, time to practice. So I lean back a little bit. Hey, are you okay? Do you hug, shake hands? If not, it's okay. I get it. It's no problem. I take no offense. She smiled. I shake hands. Okay, cool. Now, that's something that's been very hard for me to come to terms with. Took a long time to understand the boundaries, because when you live in a body, especially if you're a big guy, you really have no concept of how you relate to other people. This is just the body you're rolling around in, and hi, you're 5'2". I don't distinguish that. I just go, hey, how you doing? I don't think of it as a threat. I do now, of course. I can see how you might be uncomfortable. I get the remark all the time, don't want to meet you in a dark alley, and I just go, thank God I don't frequent dark alleys. So, we can meet here. Do you shake? I don't know. But one of the things, hopefully we all mature with time, emotionally at least. God knows we all mature otherwise. We all get older. And I found after this experience, I was starting to have more success with women. All of a sudden, respecting boundaries meant respecting the person. Who knew? Because I'm going back to childhood, and Dad is, he's got brothels and strip clubs and massage parlors is what they're called, and drives his big Cadillac, and he is straight out of a fucking movie. And when that's your upbringing, and you think that's normal, clearly it wasn't, everything you do after that is by default defective. I don't want to be defective anymore. So the good news is, I changed my ways. In fact, if any of you should see me after the show, I won't engage you physically. You'll have to ask for a hug or a handshake. I do that in business, I do that in my personal life. It's just how I roll. Been that way for about 15 years, which is when I met a lady who for some reason has decided to stay with me and be my wife for almost that long. So the story has a happy ending. Thank you.